What do you think about all these early stage companies that are getting SOC 2s and stuff like that, pre-product, pre-revenue, just basically virtue signaling to VCs that, hey, we're a serious company and we're trying to sell to big companies. And like they get these kind of Mickey Mouse SOC 2s with no real controls, no real security, no application security. It's never going to pass actual security assessment from a third party. Are you seeing this as often as I am?
I see it all the time. And normally I see it when these companies then realize they need to do real security. From talking to real CISOs, the thing that it's most doing is it's evaluating the stamp of the SOC 2, because it means that as a CISO, if I know a company has a SOC 2 certification, I have no information about whether they're doing any actual security or not. So if you go back a couple of years, it was the case that if a company had a SOC 2 attestation, even if you hadn't seen the report, you could assume they're doing a lot of real security. You'd probably still want to see the report, but you could make the assumption they're doing a lot of real security. Now, I don't think that's even an assumption you can make. And, it's both good and bad. I talk to CISOs now who they're never going to assume anything just because you have a SOC 2. They're still going to make you do the security questionnaire. But the other side of that is that a lot of CISOs are also saying, if I'm going to make you do a security questionnaire anyway, then I'm also willing to deal with companies that may not yet have a SOC 2 because our diligence process isn't made any easier if they have one.
I wrote this article last year about how startups are over-relying on SOC 2s, and every once in a while I get a message on LinkedIn or an email that's like, thank you so much for writing this. I keep telling this to everyone. People are just getting these SOC 2s pretending like they have security, and then they're disappointed and sad that they got this thing and spent money on it that's totally worthless because the third parties are going to make them do real security.
The other thing I think a lot of startups forget is that if you have the real security in place and someone requires a SOC 2 or requires an ISO 27001, usually they'll contract with you now and you commit to getting that certification within X months. The other side of that is not true. If you have a meaningless SOC 2, they're not going to contract with you now while you wait to get your real security in place over X months. I actually have a client recently who was working with a vendor who has a SOC 2, and they had to stop working with that vendor, find a totally different vendor, because the vendor they were working with just wouldn't put the real security in place in a timely manner, even though they already had a SOC 2. And, we're on the other side of that. We were on the diligence side of that, but we're seeing this all the time in both directions.